Should I take the utilities or should I have the tenant take them? Stay tuned to find out what the right answer is. Welcome to the Section 8 Sensei. Today we are going to go through utility standards to try to determine who takes the cost and what makes the most sense. The channel is free, so subscribe, turn on your notifications, and follow the playbook on profitability. So the question is the risk versus reward ratio in your favor or not to take the utilities? Type Y for yes or N for no in the comments and let me know. All right, so the payment standard chart essentially is what establishes the rent for the property. The utility standards chart establishes the ballpark estimate for utilities on a certain type of property, a certain size property, and a certain bedroom count. Okay, so it's the same concept as the payment standard, but instead of rent, we're talking about utilities. So the way the chart works is, or the way it's supposed to work, and I use this kind of lightly, but if you have a $2,800 payment standard and your utility chart says that for that type of property you're going to have $200 in utilities, technically the housing specialist should say, hey, if the tenant's paying utilities, we're only going to pay you $2,600. Now, I say that loosely because that doesn't always happen. So there are instances where you'll go in and say, hey, the tenant's paying the electric and the gas and the water or whatever, and the payment standard is left alone. So you end up with basically the higher number and not paying, the utilities when pushing them on the tenant. So it all kind of is a work in progress a little bit on how it works. And it does change sometimes at the initial versus the renewal. So sometimes it's hard to kind of establish where you're at with some of these things. But just know that once you get into the deal, if it works for you, you do have a chance to recapture a ton of this on the renewal as well. So let me kind of show you what this chart looks like so you kind of get a feel for what we're talking about. You can kind of see on the chart across the top, it'll kind of go through the bedroom numbers. On the left there, it goes what type of utility it is, gas, electric, whatever. So that you just add the chart up, and then it tells you kind of what the number ultimately is going to be. So then what happens is you make some determination on your part, depending on where you live and what happens with utilities. So if you live in, Michigan or Minnesota and you're doing this, obviously you have some concerns in the wintertime that you're going to run a high, gas bill, heat, whatever you guys use for that over there. And then in the summertime, maybe you're running a high electricity. So like for me in Phoenix, we know that basically we don't use any power in the winter months, right? Because nobody has heat or anything on. And then in the summer, obviously you get cranked, so you got to figure out what the average is going to be over time. If it's not something that is blatantly obvious that you're going to be profitable on, you should let the tenant take it because it's not worth the risk. So like the only ones that we've done are either we were forced to do it or we thought we would come out even or ahead. But like we have a property in Phoenix that's like 1,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, so we get good money on it. But at 1,000 square feet, we didn't think we would get killed on electricity, so we were okay taking it. So it just kind of depends, and you're going to have to get a feel for it as you go. But that's basically what the utility standard is and what it's for. So you got to play around with it a little bit as you start getting into your Section 8 stuff. But just wanted to let you know that that is available. So when you go to those sites and start looking at the payment standards, pull a utility as well, because you're going to need to match those two up to figure out where your cash flow numbers are going to fall. So I hope that helped you guys with utility standards, and you can take that information, protect yourself a little bit with your leases and your tenants. Remember to subscribe to the video, forward this and share it if you want to another fellow investor. We thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.